Hope you're all having a wonderful day. Having a fantastic day, that is. My name is Caesar. Welcome back to the channel and to City Skylines 2, where we're building the county of White Pine, or White Pine County. And previously, we had worked on a bunch of, well, the beginning side of a town, right? We started building basic residential zones, as you're probably watching right now. We built some farmlands, we built our first cemetery, and we got a medical center really built up and going. And all of that is going just really well, and I'm excited for the future of the town. So thank you so much for joining me. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you're having a wonderful day. I'm having a great day as long as you hit the subscribe button. And let's get started. So here's what I was thinking, right? I'm kind of mixed between continuing our growth with our residential zone, or even starting to build on this side. And I'm conflicted by it. And I think what we're going to do is, now that I think about it, what makes more sense is to kind of expand this way and make this area feel more alive before we start building in a new area. So that's what we're going to do. We have a lot of undeveloped land, and that's, there's a lot of use. There's a lot of space for us to use. So we're going to go ahead and take advantage of that. Now, obviously, we have some space here. And I know it looks kind of weird right now, but it'll make sense in the future. We're going to have a park here as soon as we unlock parks. Things like that will fit in here. But one thing we're having a big demand for right now is, well, education. We have a -2 rating because there's no elementary school nearby. So we got to really find a place for that. And that's why I'd like to start our first kind of education campus. And I think a good place for that would be on this side of the river. We kind of use this like peninsula to build a bit of an education campus. And I think it would look pretty unique. We could make our own decorations in the area, bring this to life with the school, even probably leave room for the high school down the road. But I think it'd be a perfect place to start. So that's what we're going to do first. And as always, we're going to start off with some basic road work. We're going to just go ahead and expand this road a bit this way. Not going to be anything crazy. Eventually, we're going to end up heading this way most likely. So I'll bring a road. Just kind of follows this, and then we'll just connect it up via a nice curve, and hopefully keep that as smooth as possible to ensure vehicles don't slow down as much, right? Because when you have tight curves and things like that, vehicles will slow down and they'll slow down your traffic, and that's not something you want. I'm also getting a message about bad healthcare, but in reality, we actually have pretty good healthcare coverage because we have our clinic right here, and it covers this whole area. I don't understand how or why it's saying we have bad coverage, because for some reason, like if this road, for example, is out of the range of the clinic, it'll tell us we have bad coverage. But in reality, anything that needs coverage is covered, and we can just ignore that. There's no reason for it. And it's the same reason we're not getting any negative attributes to that, so you can always ignore those things. So we're going to start with basic road connections, right? And, well, I guess we should look at what kind of assets we have. There's a couple of new assets that just came out with the latest detailers patch, and including a small elementary school. And I think having a small elementary school in this area just kind of makes sense. And yeah, we're going to go ahead and use this, right? Our elementary school here is going to be right between this river here. And I was thinking maybe an angle, something like this. I don't think this is upgradable anyways, is it? No, it's not. We have the extension wings for classrooms and things like that, but there's no real upgrades for this thing at all. And I doubt we'd really upgrade this too much past what it comes by default. So we're going to go ahead and just leave it for now. And we're going to do just a basic road connection here. And the reason I'm keeping it basic is because we have to leave room for our high school. Obviously, we could go with a... How much is this? Yeah, we probably couldn't afford this too well. Oh, then I'm going to click that. Let me go ahead and pull that back up. And if we did a small high school here, for example, right? Probably be like over here. So let's put down a road here so it kind of makes sense to what we're looking at. And we'll put a road, say here. And we would have our high school probably right in here. And can we afford the actual payment for this? I'm not exactly sure, but we're going to find out. We might not be able to afford any of this, and we'll disable the high school if we can't afford it, and we'll be able to just tell that way. But I think this is a good placement for this. Does this even have, what does this have? Extension wing for more classrooms, things like that. Okay, so they both come with like extra classrooms you can build on it, which is pretty unique. I kind of like it. I kind of dig it. And just across from both of the buildings, I want to include a bit of parking area just because this area would be just very high traffic, especially as this area grows and expands. So it kind of makes sense for us to have a parking lot here. And I want to find one that really fits the area well without becoming ridiculous like this. Well, I think I'm okay with ridiculous because I like how this parking lot looks. Not really. We'll get rid of this. And it sucks because we lose money for destroying things like that, but we'll just do it anyway. It's fine. How does the small parking lot look? What does modest look like? What about large? No, large is in the water, and that doesn't really make sense. We can't really have that in the water. So I say we go with a small parking lot. And we'll line this up. I also want to include motorcycle parking. I always like having that asset around. I just kind of like how it looks. And I want to have regular parking just attached to it right there. And I think that kind of works, and I'm okay with this. I don't like the industrial look of this. I'm actually going to destroy that because of that. The industrial look of this, of like all the fences and stuff around it, I really don't like it. Maybe a modest parking lot does make sense here. Kind of like this to be centered like this. Just feels a bit more natural, and then we'll pull this away. Like that. I think that's fine. Now we obviously got to make our connections here so these buildings actually become active, because as of right now, they're not working at all because of where they're sitting. And there's no power coming through here, so we're going to push the road out this way and make an easy connection right there. Keeping it nice and smooth again to keep traffic flowing as best as possible. Then we should be able to make a simple connection right here. Probably start from this one here, pull it in. Something a little bit less crazy looking. There we go. I like that. It's not perfect, but it works. We're going to go ahead and unpause it, and this should take care of all of our electricity problems we're having in this area on its own, automatically. Yep, there it goes. Losing $7 an hour, $82 an hour. It's going down. We're going to lose a bit more and more as we go, but it's okay. It's part of the process. We'll recover it by expanding our city here shortly, so I'm not worried about the money being lost right now. And if we get to a point where we're losing too much money, then we can always go ahead and, well, disable one of the buildings to make sure we're not overspending. So I'm going to quickly go through here and remove all of these trees, and then we're going to go ahead and redecorate this area just a little bit. Okay, call me weird, but I really like how this is turning out. I know it looks a little strange, right? Like this whole area, but I kind of dig it. I don't know. I'm sure we'll tweak it as we go, but I think it's a good start. Now we're losing about $800 per hour, which isn't good, which means we'll run out of money fairly quickly, and that's not good. So we definitely got to expand our residential zone and make sure we're meeting a lot of these demands. And that way we can keep expanding and hopefully not go completely broke while we're doing this. So we're going to put down a couple more apartment buildings. I don't really like how the 3x3s really look, so I'm going to go with, can I do a 2x3? 2x3 should be a little bit smaller for these apartment buildings. I think that'll be a good way to go. As far as we can go without destroying this terrain, I think that'll be fine. But that's all we're going to put on this side, just because of this mountain terrain, and I don't want to mess that up. And we're going to put some trees in here just to remind me to not touch this. Because knowing me, I will 100% go in here and start planting trees all over and start zoning the whole thing. which isn't good. So we're gonna just take trees all the way up here, just as a reminder of, hey, don't touch this side, and it should be fine. Put some trees on this side too, just to kind of mirror it. I think that'll look fine. There we go. These subtle decorations always look really good to me, so I'm really enjoying how this looks. I also want to add some more forest here instead of just the regular trees that I have here. So we're gonna go ahead and get this, and we're gonna get our brush. We're gonna shrink this down a little bit, something like that, and not too many, just enough to bring it together a little bit. Oh, I just put down more of the lindens when I didn't mean to. Let me get some extra pine in here just to bring it together. A little bit of spruce should be fine. And just like that. I think that'll be fine. I don't want to go too crazy because this costs money to put down every one of these trees cost me some money. I don't want to go too crazy with it, but I think that's good right there. Also fills in the empty spaces so it doesn't feel like a ghost town. Which is a plus here. I'm going to go ahead and draw a connection here. And is this where I place that road usually? I guess we could do it this way. We'll go up. Yeah, I actually can't go what I wanted to go. Should be able to go mostly. Okay, what if we did something a little bit different? What if I go from here? Maybe from here. Bring it this way. Make a connection there. And then I can cul-de-sac this end. I can build a couple houses in here too. Okay, that's what we'll do. I kind of like how this looks. We'll go with a 3x3 here, a 2x3 there. And then we're just going to zone a bunch of smaller properties here. Just to fill in this area a little bit. We can go a little bit bigger on this side. Yeah, we'll go with bigger properties on this side just to fill it in a bit nicer. And I think that'll be fine. Let's connect that up. That'll connect that too. And how is this looking? A little bit rough, a little bit rough. I pushed it too far this way. We'll go with some light residential here just to fill in this side too. And we could take that all the way. We'll do 3s all the way around. That'll be fine. Perfect. And same thing on this side, just to start getting some of these empty areas filled. And to make it feel a little bit more connected rather than just two separate towns, this will kind of connect it a little bit together a bit more. It's kind of what I want. I don't want it to seem like it's two separate towns. It's one town, just kind of different neighborhoods, so it's gonna look a little bit different, that's for sure. And I think here, can I build on this hill without making it look too weird? How is this gonna look when I finish building here? So if oops, there we go. If I grab this low density residential, I just match it up to, we did 4s over there, right? So if we do another 4, like that, then maybe another couple of apartment buildings. See how that looks. I don't hate it, but I don't want to go too crazy either. I just don't want it to be really bad on the hill, and I think that's fine. I don't think it's looking bad at all. And because we're over here at this intersection, we can go ahead and fill this in. And I should build a property here on the edge here, which is perfect. It'll close up those gaps, and then we'll do the same thing over here. Build one there, and I think that was the only places we really have those problems. How's our unemployment doing? Unemployment is at 4. Oh no, what did I just look at? Unemployment's at 8%, which is pretty high. And we have more people moving in, which means we're just going to have higher and higher unemployment rate. And we're going to mitigate that by just expanding our industrial zone. How far did I go here? Can I measure this? Looks like 248. So if we go from here, go up 248. Is this still flat land? It's flat enough. There's no crazy ramps here and anything like that, so I think it's fine. We could easily just get our flatten tool, our soften tool. Up this, up this. Let's do 150 here. Just soften that up a little bit, and that'll be fine. There we go. There we go. And now we can just zone this area out and build even more jobs here. And they should fill up relatively quick because we have a high demand for work. There we go. Let's go ahead and zone all of that out. And we're going to make sure they have enough employees by, well, unemployment's going to completely tank. So there's going to be a massive demand for new employees, and that's going to be how we mitigate what we just did there. So it's nothing to worry about. We have some more commercial demand, which we got to start meeting because people are going to start needing places to shop at. And we don't have any shops on this side, and we like to keep all of our shops on Main Street. So we're going to go ahead and just put some more shops on Main Street over here on this side, and I think that'll be a great way to do this. We'll go up by 3s all the way through, and I think that'll be fine. There we go. And when they're ready, they'll build up these shops, and it'll just be good to go. I want to pre-zone these just so they're ready, and I don't rezone them for something else on accident, because I've done that multiple times in different cities where I zoned the wrong thing. But I think that'll be fine right there. Yeah, that'll be fine. They'll need 3 places, but that's okay. But I think a cool thing would be for us to do, and I think if we just go up, what is it? Is it 88? I think it's 88. It's 87, I guess. That's what it looks like from there. We'll keep this as straight as possible, and we'll connect to there. I think that'll be fine. We'll do one more over here. 88. We'll bring that to there and make that connection. Maybe we'll do this a little bit differently, right? Because it's going to bother me. It's going to bother me for good reason, too. We're going to make a temporary road. Just bringing it all the way up here. Can we straighten this out as best we can? Which one's 180? Okay. That's going to turn really bad into this. So we'll do something a little bit different. Something like this. Because that'll be straight in reference to this section. And then we'll do another section that starts maybe here. And then bring this up directly at 90 degrees and only go up the 88 that we're used to. And then zone this out by going over 200, or the 192 is how we've been doing the blocks down there. And then just connecting these zones up, which is going to be super simple. This one, straight down, just connects right there. And this one, we're just going to grab our curve road tool, just do a basic connection from here to there. That'll keep it nice and smooth, and we'll get zoning in place, and that'll be fantastic. And we're going to start just zoning things in, just to start filling in some homes, and hopefully get some of this demand down and balance our economy. Oh, which we did. I thought it was going to be a little bit harder to do than that, but that's all right. We already accomplished it. We'll do slightly bigger properties over here. What if we get our first 6x6 property up here? They didn't do it. Did we get a 6x6? Is there not a 6x6 property? Maybe not. It's a possibility too. That's all right. I'm not going to be too stressed about it. And we'll do just 4s over here. We have room for 4s here. Here we'll do the full 6 because we have the space. And we'll leave that spot blank just because nothing really fits there. Just pull that in as best we can with residential and we'll be fine. Just realized you were speeding time the whole time. I was like, why is everything going so fast? It's kind of my own fault. There we go. People are starting to complain about crime, which means we got to start getting police in here. We're already making $500, which is really great. But where do we want to put our police station? Because this kind of makes a little bit of noise. But we need it kind of somewhere central. So where's our clinic at? We can make this a bit like our city services campus of sorts, you know? I think that would kind of make sense because this empties out on this road here and it's close to Main Street. So I think that this just kind of works. Yeah, we'll just do with the smaller police station here. And there we go. That'll take care of crime for now. And obviously later we'll get a bigger police station. But for now, I think that works. I want to see... Are they dispatching cars? Yeah, they are. Okay, so crime's going to get taken care of pretty quickly. And we're losing a bunch of money because we keep spending money on different things. Which makes sense, you know? I'm not complaining about it. It makes complete sense. But it's something to just be aware of as we're expanding here. And I think if we just... I don't want to do the massive ones. I'll do like the 4. I think that'll be fine. I'm okay with medium residential on Main Street. I don't want any of the low residential on Main Street. So I don't know. It was just never like that. That'll be fine. And hopefully once this population fills in a little bit, it'll start to feel a bit more alive and population will kind of balance itself out a bit. We can also start looking at a block maybe over here on this side. We can easily do something like this. If we can just make that connection, then I'm gonna pull this back slightly. Not that much. Probably just to here. And then we'll do a little bit of a different connection. We'll pull it. Oh, maybe not there. We'll go like this. Okay, we'll just do a straight connection here for now. Just because it'll just fit the area a bit better. I think it'll be fine. And we got the 180 there. Is that 180? Close enough. I think there's like a slight bend in there. Maybe. Maybe not. Always a possibility. And again, we made through to leave enough room here, just enough room for a sidewalk here. That'll be fantastic. Which I actually meant to leave a second gap here. So we're gonna go ahead and just destroy a bunch of homes. Nothing like that. There we go. Something like this. And we'll go through and destroy all of these buildings. They'll rebuild and it'll be fine. I don't want any of these half buildings. I want the full threes. Come on, come on, come on. We speed this up a little bit just to make sure they're all full sized, and that looks a lot better. When they're like the bunch of the half ones, it doesn't really look nice to me. It's kind of weird. So I really want to avoid this as much as I can. And hopefully we can do that by just doing it. Probably didn't make sense at all, but it's all right. We'll get some waterfront properties on this side, just because they kind of make sense there. They're facing the water, and I've always liked the waterfront properties being near the water, because it makes sense to me. We're going to go ahead and mess with the zoning a little bit here, just to break the zoning on this side, so we can get the better zoning over here. Let's break this too. There we go. Now we got bigger properties over here, which means we're going to be able to get some more low residential over here, which is really in high demand right now. I guess all of our residential is in high demand right now, so I can't just say that about that. But if we can mitigate it by doing different things like this, that's what we're going to do. So back to our zoning tool. Looks like I might have broken it by getting rid of that road a little bit too early. And that one. But that stretches it out all the way. And I'm actually able to zone it correctly. Almost. Almost. We'll do a small apartment there. We'll get rid of that. We'll do a 2x3. That'll be fine. Get rid of these extra paths, and it'll just build out. And by the time all of this is done building out, we should be in a better spot with our economy and stop bleeding as much. I guess we'll just kind of find out as we go. I also don't want to expand too fast as we're doing right now, because the faster you expand, the more taxis you have in your town with people moving in. And for some reason, they chose to just make every new person moving in a taxi. That's like the most frustrating thing in the world. See so many open jobs and so few workers. Unemployment is very low right now. So it's going to be fine, though. What's going on with traffic? How's our traffic? How's our road conditions going? Our road conditions are getting pretty bad. Kind of makes sense. We don't really have road maintenance unlocked yet, I don't think. We do, actually. So we can start looking at placing that, so we can start getting better roads. It'll prevent traffic issues, and it'll help with like land value and things like that. That'll just be fine. We have some land in here. Can we zone this area out without it making it look too weird? Something like that. Let's connect those up, and I think that'll be fine. Just to make this area seem a little bit less empty, because right now it feels kind of very plain right now. We'll probably just fill in with some vegetation, and I think it'll be fine. It would have been nice to have something else to put in here. We'll go with like the lindens like we usually do. We'll paint some of those in. I love these lindens, by the way. It's my favorite tree in the game. Put some bushes in here. And some wildflowers. That'll be fine. And we'll squeeze in some pines, because White Pine County, we're all about pines in here. And we'll just squeeze some of those in. That'll be fine. Perfect. There we go. Feels a little bit more together. Feels a little bit more secluded, which is really nice, actually. I kind of don't mind how this looks now with the vegetation here. I think that really brings that together. Whenever you have empty spaces like this, if you just squeeze in a bunch of trees, it usually comes well together and it feels more alive. So don't panic and try to over zone. It's better to just fill it in with some vegetation and call it a day, especially if you know it's going to cause you traffic issues as you go down the road. So just be mindful of things like that and you'll be good to go. There we go. Feels a bit more alive in that area too. How's our economy doing? We're only losing $42, which is really great. It means we're very close to an equilibrium and being able to balance this out and be in a better spot. That is for sure. People should be happier too because they have a school nearby. Yeah, there's a school nearby. So they're just really happy about it. Which I say vegetation, right? But then we have no vegetation back here. I'm gonna go through and squeeze in, not squeeze in, but paint in some trees. And I think if we just go all the way to here and then some pine, spruce, and birch always look very good to me together. This is my go-to like paintbrush. I wish you could select multiple trees at the same time to paint in because that would make life a lot easier. But those three are always my go-to. Pine, spruce, and birch. They just work well together, in my opinion. Everybody has their own taste though, so don't just take my word for it. You definitely experiment with things that, you know, maybe you might like and things like that. So you can always have your own unique feel to your city. It's good to take inspiration from different people. You know, I definitely do that a lot. And there's nothing wrong with it. It's just always nice to get your own style going too. So basic, very little landscape, it can really bring an area together and it just feels a lot cleaner. Even if it's not the most realistic thing ever, like you're not going to see this type of stuff everywhere in every every block in real life. But in City Skylines, when you have the option to do it, just do it. Brings the whole area together and it just feels a lot nicer and a lot more welcoming. And I feel like if I were to live here and this is how my neighborhood would my neighborhoods were looking where I lived, I feel like I'd be very happy. You could tell the city really cares about its I guess its physical appeal. And I think that's really cool. I really want to take my time and just make sure everything looks as attractive as possible. I think we're doing a pretty good job at that so far. And traffic doesn't seem to be too horrible too. It's nice. We're also making good money now. Well, not good money, but we're making money. Looks like we got some more room here. So what if we do some of these apartments? Nothing major, just some smaller ones. Something like this. A little bit of a pattern. We'll do a 2x2, 2x3, just like that. That should provide enough homes for at least a little bit. I think we'll do some of the row homes on this side. I think that'll be great. Because they'll be higher and they'll be able to look into like the backwater of it. And I think it just looks really cool. Speed the game up a little bit just to see how things are going and see if we can get our economy just in a little bit more of a healthy place. People are still saying it's not safe at night, which I don't understand. You go look at our crime. Our crime success rate is 83%. I don't understand that. We have a lot of cops and like everything is in the green. Crime probability is 1%. But I guess when they do their crime, I don't know. Certain number of criminals. Okay. Maybe it's one of those things that'll just take time to balance us out, Fell, since we just built. And I also don't understand the noisiness thing, right? It's saying this city is super noisy. But like, Where? I guess slightly here. This building. Okay, this police station is very loud. We're gonna move our police station somewhere a bit more rural, a more distant area. Probably should put this in a very commercial zone, like here maybe. No, that's Main Street. I don't want that coming off the Main Street. It doesn't really have a good appeal to me. Would it make sense to put it over here in our industry zone, right? Does this cover the whole area? It looks like it does. For now, we'll leave it over here, just because noise doesn't really matter in this industry zone. And we'll go with that. We have a lot of traffic moving through here. This will probably need to be upgraded into a 4-lane road down the road, just because it looks like it's a very focused road for traffic. Same with this one. I don't think it'll be too bad though, because that clears up and everybody crosses, then we're good to go. So I think that's fine. I'm not too upset about that. And also, last episode I talked about wanting a gas station in this area. So let's do that real quick. Just a bit of a gas station, maybe a couple gas stations, just to make it feel like a rest stop area when you get off of a freeway, and I think that'll look really neat. So what if we do something like this? We're gonna grab an alleyway. And believe me, we'll get rid of these lights. we'll keep the yield signs there, since there's automatic yield signs on the priority roads, which is fine. We're also going to get rid of these crosswalks here. Make sure no civilians are crossing there. And then we're going to get... Honestly, we should get rid of this crosswalk too. And this light. Why is there a light here? It should be a free flow. We'll see. No, not we'll see. Let's get rid of this light. Let's go into here. Get rid of that. There's no need for a light there. And also get rid of this crosswalk. Get rid of that crosswalk. People need to cross. They can drive or get a taxi over here. I just don't want a bunch of civilians over here. I really don't. So we're gonna try to avoid as much as we can. Anyways, we're gonna go into. Are we missing mods? I feel like I'm missing a mod or two. Hold on. Oh, okay. For some reason, I had to like pause and unpause the game, and they all showed up again. So okay, let's find a gas station. Let's find one of the bigger ones here. It's obviously going to be one of the NA ones, and none of the EU ones. Let's see. Did I miss something here? These are all EU. Is there a way to filter? Buildings, commercial. Here we go. Okay. Level 1, 4x6, 4x4, level 2. Level 3, 3x2. Level 3, 3x3. Level 3, 4x5. We'd probably get away with the 4x6 back here. Can get that. And I'm okay with this. Yeah, lock the building level on this. And just those couple of gas stations I think are just kind of nice in that area. And we're also going to do a little bit of a commercial lot. Something small. Nothing massive here, right? Nothing massive. So can we go with something like this? And will this face inward? That's important there too. No one's moving into these because we have no power over here. I see why. Grab. Why is that grabbing weird? Oh, it needs to be underneath. There we go. Just do a straight connection through there. I don't understand this overlapping thing, so I'm just going to go around and connect it to there. Oh, maybe not. Connect it to there. That'll deliver enough power here. This will activate, and hopefully some businesses will move in here. Empty and available for rent. Okay. Probably should have waited till I had some demand for commercial. Can we lower the taxes on that real quick? Get these owned. I feel like if somebody owns those, it'll be fine. Still no demand. Okay. That's okay. If they abandon, we'll rebuild it on our own. But I think that's okay for now. We'll also do some decorating here once these buildings get operated. That way I don't have to do it and the buildings like abandon themselves or something. So that'll be fine. I think everything's turning out pretty well so far. So I'm really excited. We're going to go ahead and get... Why didn't this build up? I always have these weird zones that don't build. I don't understand why. I see why. Those were massive for some reason. I don't want those massive buildings here. We're going to go ahead and unzone that. Move the zoning onto this road. That'll be fine. This should build nicely. We'll go here. Demolish that one. We get rid of this path here now. Can we still zone this side? There we go. Feels a lot better. What can we do in here? A 2x4? It doesn't really make sense there. I think we'll leave this empty spot here for like some vegetation or something. Not vegetation, so like a small park or something. And I think that'll be fine. I also want to fill in some of these backyards with some vegetation because I feel like that'll look really nice. Maybe not the lindens, because I already did lindens. We'll do some pines, since this area is very much about pines, this county. We're going to just go and spread some pines around in here. I think that'll be fine. We can probably do some in here too, temporarily. We can always remove these, and it'll be no problem at all. Can we up the strength on this? There we go. Even more. Okay. There we go. Super simple. All right. This will fill in nicely when they grow up. It'll be like a nice forested walk zone. And I think that's really neat. Maybe not perfect or pretty or anything, but I think it's... I don't know. Have you ever walked through like a forested area in real life? And it's like a thick forest and it's just a path going through and it just feels super nice. It's kind of the vibe that's going to give off, right? Hopefully, anyway. There we go. Something like that. So also help with noises. Trees help with noises and things like that. So if you have a lot of noise in your city, it'll help a lot. Yeah, we need to get some road maintenance because that's going to help a lot with these traffic issues. Not traffic issues, these traffic accidents we're having. So we're going to grab a road maintenance depot and we're going to go over here and we'll probably put this honestly off of the subzone that we've been building here the whole time. Because it'll make a bit more sense than putting it in here. Because then the traffic can load off onto the side road and not onto the main road, and that's just kind of nice. So we'll go ahead and go in here to grab our road maintenance depot. Perfect space. We got $100,000 and some money. Well, and some more things to unlock. So we unlock low density offices, low rent housing, transportation, which is really cool. So we unlock buses and things like that. We also unlocked basic parks. So we can go around and put a couple of those down. There's a Ferris wheel park. That's pretty sweet. I don't want to do any low rent yet. It doesn't make sense for our area. Do offices make noises? I have no idea. A couple small offices. Is there a way to get those bigger? Fill in this area. What if like a 3x4? There we go. We'll go with 3x4s. They'll fit in a little bit better. And bringing in that extra zoning type will just help us with raising extra money because more people are paying taxes now. We also unlocked oil drilling, which is really cool. What kind of parks? We unlocked a bunch of parks, which is really sick. And there's a lot of cool parks. If you haven't seen a lot of these parks, they're all actually very unique. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of the snapping for here. And can we rotate this all the way over here? So if we snap real quick, it'll rotate automatically to where you need it. So the tree's on the left side, right? Obviously, probably not that here. Probably a small plaza fits very nicely in here. I think we're going to roll with a small plaza. There we go. This will allow for some leisure time for these areas, and they'll start feeling a little bit better about themselves. Now, can you use... Is there like pedestrian roads? Is that a thing? Pedestrian street. There is pedestrian streets. Okay. Well, you might have to play around with some of these pedestrian streets. You got some like pedestrian only zones. I think that'd be pretty unique. I'm gonna play around with this real quick just to see what happens here. Is there a way not to delete all that? No, it doesn't seem like it. It's these trees that's causing that. Yeah, it didn't really do anything. All right. So if we have one of those down, can we put a park? Oh, you can put parks on these. Okay. We'll definitely have to do some playing around with those because that'd be really cool to have in here. Some pedestrian only places in the city. It'd be pretty cool. We'll do a small park here on this side. Doesn't fit totally, but I think it's fine. What if we... No, not over there doesn't make sense at all. Can we do a small playground here? There we go. It's nice. And then in between, what we're going to do with everything else, I'm going to just fill in with some vegetation. Just super nice. Just go ahead and spray in some pine trees because that's our main tree. A little bit of spruce. A little bit of birch. And we're also going to do a little bit of apple trees in here. This would be a cool place to walk through and just pick some apples as you're walking through here. That'd be pretty neat. As these grow, this will fill in and feel a lot nicer. For now, it's going to be nice and empty. Which is completely fine. We're also losing money now because of all the buildings we've been building. But that's okay. Things will balance themselves out. No problem at all. I'm not worried about it. What is that going to look like? Let's get rid of these real quick. A couple of offices there. Like that makes sense, you know? I don't want to go too crazy with these offices either, but they're definitely nice to have. We have some bigger buildings over here. I guess quote unquote bigger buildings. So we could probably look at our first low rent building over here. I think if we do like a 2x2, it'll fit nicely. And then we can get like some of the regular, like a regular apartment building here, a 2x3, to kind of balance out the area and not make it look like it stands out too much because it's going to be a bigger building than most buildings here. So I think having the slightly bigger apartment here will kind of make sense. And we'll see how this looks when it's done, but this should look fairly decent. Should anyway, right? But there's always that possibility that it won't. How's our happiness going? Actually pretty happy. Everyone's happy because of leisure we have going on and things like that, which we don't have any parks over here. We probably need to get something over here going. Nice campfire set would be nice for sure, but I don't think it makes sense anywhere here. Small city park can easily fit in here, so we'll go with something like that. That'll be fine. Do we have any more spaces for a park in here? Probably over here. We'll go with a dog park. Feel like that works, and we make this look a little bit less weird. I don't like that dog park here because it looks a little weird. I'm gonna get a regular, like a small park or something, small playground. That kind of fits the area better. It doesn't stick out really weird. I think that's nice. Losing about $1,000. Things are starting to balance themselves out. We're starting to lose less and less money. But there we go. See? It doesn't look horrible because we have like slightly taller buildings here. So it doesn't look too out of place, and I think that's fine. We have some weird spacing here. Can we squeeze in a park here? Something like that? Nope, definitely not that. Anything small here? What if we stop the snapping? Can we squeeze this in here? Can. Technically. That works, actually, so I'm not upset at that at all. And again, we're going to go with our paintbrush in here. I'm just going to paint in some trees, and I don't think that'll be fine. There we go. I'm going to bring that together here. Squeeze in as many trees as we can. Some hickories in there, if possible. Maybe a couple of lindens. And I think we might have to do manual placement of these trees because the paintbrush is a little bit finicky here. So we'll go in here and just do some manual placement of some trees to bring this area a bit more together. There we go. Nothing too crazy, right? There's no reason to go too crazy. I think that's fine. Get some bushes in here too. There we go. It's actually pretty neat. I like this. We'll be gun dying more than usual. Wonder why. Our roads are in good condition now. Policing. Oh, traffic. Traffic is fine still. There's no red zones, and there's not really anything here. I don't know why it's showing up as orange. I don't understand that. But it's fine. And if we look at... how's our noise pollution? Definitely has improved since we moved our police station and stuff over here, so I think that's fine. That was a good move. And hopefully that's going to be fine. We're still losing $600, and it's just because we're not meeting demand still. So we're going to just go ahead and keep zoning in, keep building out certain areas to just make it feel a little bit nicer. Now, can we add some offices over here? I feel like offices in these industrial zones kind of make sense. Just a few, like an office park or something, you know? Something like that. We have room. Do we have demand for one more? We don't. Okay, that's fine. This will also provide jobs for some of our higher educated employees, like citizens. That'll be really nice for everybody. We'll start feeling a little bit happier for having better jobs and things like that. I also want to look at some forestry, only because we have a giant forest over here. I think why not take advantage of that? It makes sense. But how could we get this connected over here so it doesn't look too horrible? We can bring this up as far as possible in a connection like that. This looks kind of jank. Also did a pedestrian path here instead of like a regular path. That doesn't look too right. Yeah, we'll do something a little bit different. Something like here. We'll bend around here. Go that way. I keep putting these pedestrian paths. Can I just go here and upgrade? There we go. Makes a little bit more sense to have those kind of roads here. And we'll just bring this up and around. And get a smooth connection here as best we can anyway. We'll do some fixing there here in a second. And with this road, I don't want to cut through the highway. I want it to kind of loop around. We get this road here and something like this. And we can easily make a connection from here to here, maybe. Hold on. Boom, boom, and then boom, boom. A lot smoother. Gets rid of that jankiness that we have over here. Where's the jankiness? Right here. Want to get rid of this jankiness as best we can. So we're going to reconnect this a little bit differently. Something like this. And then we'll get that straight and then going with a smooth connection there. Gets rid of any jankiness that we might have had. That's perfect. And now that we're over here, now that we have this little bit of a road connection here, we can look at some forestry. So we're going to put down our forestry zoning here. And I think that's going to be a good amount of space there for that. It's not totally efficient, but it works and I like it. That's usually how we do a lot of these things, huh? It's just, do I like it? Yes, we're doing it. If I don't like it, we're not doing it. It's kind of how that works. We'll just go all the way to the tracks. I think that's fine. We bend. Oh, this isn't even train tracks. I don't think this is like regular road. There we go. Bring that all the way back. All the way back. Just follow this up how we do with all of these other zones. Maximizing as much of the space as we can. There we go. This should get rid of any deficit we may have with wood for now. We might need another zone in the future or some improvements to this one. Things of that nature, but for now, it works. We'll take it all the way down. Connect up to here. Okay. Do that a little bit differently. Connect to here. Connect to there. Can we bring this in now? We can. Something like that will be fine. And one more connection. Oh, maybe two more connections. Can we connect this? Something like this. It's this one right here that needs to be pulled in. That'll connect a little bit better. Then bring in these. Maybe not. Okay, pull this out for now. Pull that in. Pull that in. Get rid of that node. That'll be fine. There we go. We have a bit of forestry production, which also provides a little bit of jobs, which is really nice to have. We can also look at our population now and see what we have. We still have an unemployment rate of 1.6%. Means we still have a lot of jobs and not enough employees. So it's really demanding a lot of population, which is something we got to meet. If not, this thing is going to fail. Well, businesses will start closing, things of that nature will happen. Have these businesses taken ownership yet? Not yet. Hopefully someone owns these in the future. Hopefully. Possibility that it won't, just because of how I'm doing things, but that's all right. I'm not too worried about it. We have plenty of room over here to zone, so why not just zone this up and get some more properties in here? We have a lot of demand for low and medium residential, so why not just meet these demands? Oh, we just did a bunch of apartments. We're not going to do that. Let's get rid of that real quick. And delete those. There we go. And go with our low residential here. We'll do up to 4. Leave a gap here in case we build a road. That'll be fine. And same thing we did over here. We can go building of 3, building of 2, building of 3, building of 2, building of 3. Maybe one of these low rent apartments. One of those might be fine. And then go back to our medium residentials. Let that build up, and it should feel a bit natural. It should start building up slightly. You can even have some like higher density stuff maybe in here, things like that. But for now, I think that kind of works. I'm okay with that. For sure. We've really started branching out a lot, and it's really exciting to see, actually. It's going to be cool to see how all of this connects. In the future, we'll have connections here, things kind of connecting, and you'll see how it all comes together. And I think it'll come together in a very unique way. I think it's going to look really sick by the time it's done being connected. That's the goal anyway. I'm going to go ahead and connect all of this up here with pathing, just like we do with every other neighborhood, and I'll see you in a couple seconds. But now that we're getting our population up, you can see immediately our tax income is going up. It's one of those things people may be complaining about your city services, for example. But as long as you're keeping up your population and making sure you have the tax revenue to cover your monthly fees, you can always hold off a little bit before you start building in the buildings that are being demanded. I'm gonna go through here and just get rid of these small buildings again. I don't like them. They don't really fit the area very well. So do that. There we go. Now to rebuild with an actual sized building. And we'll get another apartment complex here, which is going to look fantastic by the time it's done, and it'll fit the area. Again, we're starting to get some slightly taller buildings, but nothing crazy. We're still keeping this area kind of small for the most part. And this will probably be like the biggest area for now. We'll start using like the smaller apartments as we go on for now. Eventually, we'll expand it and get some bigger stuff, but don't want to go too crazy, because the more we do here, the more traffic we're going to start getting and things like that. So we want to be careful with everything we do. I'm going to go ahead and put in a parking lot into this area here, since this is a nice spot for it. I don't really have a use for the area now. Can we go with maybe a modest one? Kind of makes sense. But it's going to be destroying that area. I don't want to do a tiny. It's too small. We might have no choice. I think we'll go with that, and that'll destroy this side. I'm okay with that. And probably having this offload and onload onto this area doesn't make sense, but I think it'll be fine. We also got to start providing parking, because eventually we're going to get rid of as much of the parking as we can on street side. Helps traffic flow a little bit better if there's no cars parked on the road. At least that's what I've noticed. I don't know if it's true or not, but it just feels like it anyway. All these cars are pulling in, and this parking lot's going to get full very, very quickly, because this is a higher density area now. We're starting to get to the higher density. We have 3,000 people in our city. So we're actually growing pretty rapidly now. That's super cool to see. What's our unemployment rate like now? 2%. That means we're starting to get more population, but we still have plenty of jobs to go around. So I'm not going to go ahead. I'm not going to expand anything just yet, because it doesn't make sense to. But we're getting closer to the point where we will expand and things like that. We can also start looking at some different parks and amenities we can add for this area. As of right now, there is no amenities, which is not good if you're trying to build a good neighborhood here. So can we squeeze in a dog park in between these two buildings here? There we go. That's what I wanted to do. That works out. One of these small city parks would look really nice in this area too. Can we add one of these so it kind of works? Maybe over here, honestly. There's a little bit of unzoned area that we can just place a park on, and I think that looks really cool. But this should provide enough this leisure area. Can we get rid of that zoning and then go look at parks? Yeah, this leisure is really nice over here in this area. We don't need any more than that. That'll be fine. Fantastic. I also noticed that this school doesn't have a playground. I guess they do, but it's like really depressing. I'm tempted to add another playground in this area just to kind of make it feel a bit more alive because it's kind of depressing. I'm going to grab one of our small playgrounds, things like that, or something. We turn off snapping. Does that work? It does. I like it. That's another park in there, and I feel like it just kind of brings it a little bit more alive in this depressing concrete park. We have our schools are almost full already. We have a lot of children in our schools, which is kind of crazy. Wasn't expecting that to be filled so fast. We don't really have room for these expansions either. So we have to start looking at a second. Oh, we have traffic over here. What's going on over here? I wonder if this is because everybody's new here and a lot of this will kind of clear itself out. It's a possibility. We also only have one entrance into the city, so that could play a big part into this traffic. Wouldn't be surprised at all. It's a strong possibility. It's also fall, which is going to start, which is it'll be winter soon. It'll be snowing again soon. Which this map looks really cool when it snows. I also want to increase the density of vegetation here. I feel like this would be like a cool off the track type of environment, and I feel like that'd be sick. So we're going to go with a bigger brush and start sprinkling a lot of these trees in here as much as we can. And we want this to be super thick forestry area by the time it grows, and I think it's going to look sick. There we go. We're going to sprinkle in some bushes, nothing too crazy with bushes. Just like that. As this grows, and I know we can put down adult trees and things like that, but I really like seeing the progression over time. I'll put down the baby ones, and I think that'll be fine. The saplings. Yeah, it'll be fantastic. What's going to help with traffic is also going to be transportation. So we're going to look at some basic bus routes probably next episode, just to make sure we're getting started on transportation and making sure we're on track to kind of make some improvements. Let's look at what we have to unlock. We definitely gotta start looking at some power, some water, things like that, because we're not really producing our own stuff, and that's not going to be good long term. We even have a landfill. Just realized we don't have a landfill. If we go into trash collection, this building is upset, which kind of makes sense. We need a landfill. And we need to do that like today, right now. I think we're going to put one here on this side just because there's a lot of space. And we won't have to deal with it for a while, I think. Can we afford this? $70,000. Pretty affordable. Yeah. We'll put this here for now. And hopefully we can get some incendiary and some incineration plants down the road to replace this, because this is going to be really annoying. That or a recycling center. I kind of like the recycling center better. That's just me. Something like this. That'll be fine. And we're still making a profit maybe with this building. Yeah, we are. That's fine. People are still moving in and tax revenue is going up still. So even though we added this and it's costing us a lot more money, we're still able to afford it because of our population and taxes and things like that. Which, don't be afraid to play with your taxes. If you really need the money, up your taxes. Right? There's nothing wrong with that. You just got to remember that you can really affect your growth of your city with high taxes. and you might end up making more money by keeping your taxes low long term. Short term, it might be a good solution. We don't have any fire rescue services, so the buildings are going to catch on fire until we get that sorted. Big thing. Unreliable healthcare coverage always is an issue for my cities. I never understand why. I mean, I get it. This clinic's far, but like, we might have to replace that clinic already. Something a bit bigger. Can we move this off track just for now and get a clinic built here? That'll be fine. But just to get the medical need sorted for now, we can always change things around later. We're gonna get rid of this one. There's no need to have both of them, but this should cover. Yeah, see, this covers everything now, and that'll get rid of our negative trait here. Yep, that'll be fine. And now we're losing money because this bigger clinic costs more money. It's one of those back and forth issues, right? For now, until we can get a better situated economy. We're going to go ahead and try to fix some of the zoning on so we can put some offices on this side. I want to put in a couple of offices here. The only way we'll be able to do that is by getting rid of some of that zoning. So we'll go something like this. I feel like these offices kind of fit the area. Maybe. It might also add a lot of traffic. Offices don't really carry a lot of traffic in my experience. So I'm not worried about it too much, but it could definitely become an issue if we're not careful with it down the road. But we'll see. If it causes too much issues, we'll backtrack and get rid of it. That's fine. I also want to start filling this area here with vegetation because there's not much here we can do with this hilliness. I guess we could expand a little bit this way and a little bit up and it'll be fine. But I kind of don't want to. I kind of just want to leave it blank. Yeah, well, oh, I'm not going to add trees. There we go. Get rid of some of those bushes and go with some pines. Go with some spruce. Go with some, whatever that is. Some, not whatever that's, some birch. What a little bit of hickory in between. They look really cool in the winter. I think that'll be fine. That'll come together as those grow again. I really want to watch the progression of these trees growing. Over several episodes, we'll see them growing and things like that. And I think that's really cool. We never really checked at our progression here with our production, with our logging. Yeah, we have a 12.3 ton surplus. We have a shortness of animals. So producing our own animals probably pretty soon would probably make sense. I don't want to use this space for that. It's probably going to be more residential here. Probably tomorrow. Not in tomorrow's episode. Probably not today. We definitely don't have time for that. But I think we're making good progress. And because we're making good progress, I think you know where I'm going with this, right? I think we're in a spot where we can end today's episode and take inventory of all of the work we've done today because we've really done a lot. So thank you so much for joining me. Please join me tomorrow for another episode of White Pine County. Drop some name ideas below because I really don't know what to call this place. I'm thinking between like Twin Rivers, but then there's only one river. So that kind of went out the road immediately. And then I was also thinking of Brookfield. I feel like Brookfield kind of makes sense. I'm going to go ahead and draw the map and call this Brookfield. And if you guys come up with a better name, I'll switch it to whatever you guys come up with. But I'm really liking Brookfield so far. So we're going to go ahead and just zone out this entire area with Brookfield and call it a day. This is my first time really playing with these district tools, but I think they're kind of cool. And they stick to roads very well too. So if we go different routes with our things like that, like two different districts touching each other, or cities, quote unquote, we'll be able to do something differently to connect that. There we go. We have a district. How do we actually connect this though? Complete area. There we go. We got Pinewood Burn. We're going to switch this over to Brookfield. And I think that looks really well. We haven't unlocked policies yet. Hope we can get policies soon and start scamming people. Not actually scamming people, but, you know, charging a bit more for different things. Again, high traffic area, because I think everybody's just still moving in and things like that. I think once things balance out, we'll be in a better spot to deal with traffic a bit more and it'll be good to go. But thank you so much for joining me. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a wonderful day and enjoy a quick, brief city tour. Bye-bye.